Guys, before we start, I just thought to share about myself. Like I mentioned, I've worked in these companies like Z, NDTV, Yahoo, Times of India, and so on. And the idea here is, I realized that there are certain mistakes which we all make, because of which we are not able to crack our dream companies. There are certain things which I have learned the hard way while I tried and successfully completed in terms of cracking these companies in terms of interviews. And I also follow the same kind of practices while I am hiring for my own team. So there are certain rules which we sometimes forget. There are certain myths which certain times we don't realize. And then there are certain cases where we don't know what exactly are the right ways in terms of cracking an interview. So today's session is all about how you can crack any interview of your dream job without worrying much on the chances of getting rejected. I have done a lot of things right. I have done multiple things, which went in the correct manner. And at the same time, I have done a lot of things which were not correct. I have learned it the hard way, but you get to cheat and get the easy way, because I am open to share all my learnings with you guys, all my 15 years of knowledge condensed in a form of a course, in the form of a webinar, which I'm sharing with you all. Today, I do multiple things. I'm a career and life coach. I run my own courses on art of sales and art of getting a dream job. I have previously worked with, like I mentioned, in companies like LinkedIn, NDTV, and Times. I'm a guest lecturer in top universities and also a public speaker. So in today's webinar, what I'm going to do is, which is focus more towards the art of cracking an interview. I will be sharing 3 secrets with you in terms of cracking an interview. The first one is why you get a job. What is the reason behind getting a job? The second is how to interview the interviewer. What kind of questions you should ask the interviewer so that you come up as a much more sophisticated professional. And the third one is how to leave a long-lasting impact on the interviewer. These are the 3 things which I will be covering today in a short and crisp manner. So let's start our journey with the first one, which is why you get a job. So remember one thing, guys, if you are invited for the interview, 95% of the times you're already qualified on the paper. If you are invited for the interview, that means you are qualified for that particular position. That's why somebody has shown eagerness to meet you. So just keep this thing in your head that your resume has done your job. Your qualification has done their job by, getting you an opportunity for the interview. After that, a resume has no role. After that, your qualification has no role. The only thing which matters is how you perform in the interview after that. The resume, the qualifications has a role only till the time you get an interview. They help you get an interview. And if you are getting an invite for the interview, 95% of the times, you're already qualified on paper. So the question is, why we ultimately get a job? If it is not about resume, it's not about qualifications, then why? Who are the ones who get a job and who are the ones who misses out? So, there are 3 reasons because of which you can actually get the job. And unfortunately, you can only control one of them. That is the most unfortunate part. The first one is your ability to effectively articulate your fit and value. How good you are in terms of telling that you are the right fit. How good you are in terms of telling your qualifications, your value to the organization. How good you are in terms of telling that you are the right fit for the company. That is one thing which is very, very important, which we call it as encoding. The second one is the interviewer's ability to actually interpret your qualifications and your ability, which is called as decoding. Remember, guys, one thing, you might be really amazing in terms of telling who you are and what kind of value you bring. But if the interviewer is not able to interpret that in the correct manner, he is not able to come out of the assumption which he might be having for you, he will never be able to judge you in the proper manner. So it is also the interviewer's ability to actually interpret your qualifications, which we call as decoding. And remember, guys, that is impacted by many factors beyond control. The interviewer might be taking multiple interviews, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 on the same day, and you might be the 5th candidate. He might even not able to remember whatever you said in the interview after 24 hours. He might be very busy. He might have come out of the one meeting and might be entering another meeting. He's not in the state of mind to properly listen to you, he might be on your phone, checking mails and so on. So his ability to decode might be very, very bad, and that will result in terms of you not getting hired. The third thing is the interviewer's capacity to remember, the memory, which is a very, very important factor. Now, the problem is it's a busy world. Like I mentioned, the interviewer might have taken 4, 5, 7 interviews in the day. And during the time he takes the interview and during the times while he has to give the feedback for you, there's a time lag. And it happens with me as well. I might have taken your interview today, but I will be giving my feedback to the HR or to my senior after a day's time or so. And after 1 day's time, I might forget. I might not remember what all you said. I might have jotted down few points, but I clearly might forget altogether in terms of what is the kind of personality you were, what kind of value you spoke about. Because I have met multiple people. I have met 5 to 7 people. I have met multiple people at work. I was busy in lot many things in office. So it is very, very important for me to remember, but I might forget. But the person who will suffer is the interviewee, who might suffer just because of the poor memory of the interviewer. So what we can do, these things are beyond control. But in spite of that, there is a strategy, there is a method which we can apply so that you are top of the mind in terms of memory and top of the mind in terms of decoding what an interviewer might not have asked. Sometimes interviewers just assume, you have done suppose sales, and I might assume that you have never done a business development or partnership and alliances because you are a salesperson. I might not even ask a question if you have done partnership and alliances. I might just assume that you have not done it because you are a sales guy, and you have not mentioned it to me because you thought I have never asked you. So that's how the communication barrier appears. So the pro tip is, whenever any interview happens, remember one thing: there are only 2 types of questions in a job interview. First is about your past, and another one is about your future. Sharing something about your past, about your history. How did you do? How did you manage the conflict situation? How you showed leadership skills? How you showed competitive skills? How you cracked a certain project? Might be about history. Or what would you do if you are made a manager of this particular project? What would you do if you handle XYZ situation, XYZ case? So every question can be either in history, in the past, or it can be in the future. What exactly you can do. Guys, can you hear me all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I got a message from Mohit that he can't hear me. Mohit, you need to check.
So I can also hear you.
Okay, got it. So there are 2 these questions, in terms of history and the future. So what you need to do is you need to answer both, even if one question is asked. So regardless of which type of question is asked, whether it is about past or it's about future, you need to answer both the questions. So for example, if a question is asked, what did you do? What did you do in terms of a situation where you handled a leadership project, or you managed certain, a project management case, or you have handled a team or anything? So you mentioned that's how I did it in the past. This is how I did it in the past. But if you have a current situation or anticipate one you might have in future, do let me know so that I can tell you how I would address this situation or this problem in your environment in future. So although the question was asked about the past, that how you handled XYZ thing in the past, you also ask and tell that although I have handled this way in the past, but in the future, in your environment, this is the way I will change. This is the way how I will evolve, and this is the way how I will handle it in the future. Now, similarly, if there is a situation which is given, what would you do? What would you do in future if there is a similar situation, if there is a XYZ situation? So you mentioned that's how I would do it in future. And along with that, also tell them that there is a situation I want to share where I handled a similar thing, similar problem in the past. So even though he has not asked about your past, you bring it the past. You tell him that I will be handling it this way in future, but I have handled similar situation in the problem similar kind of a problem in the past, and this is the way I was able to come out of that problem in the past. So the long story short is, even if there's a question which is asked for present or it is asked for past, you have to answer both the things. Don't leave anything to the assumption of the interviewer. That is how you are able to remove all the communication barriers. That is the most important thing. It will remove that decoding problem, because the interviewer will not assume anything. You have already clarified everything, how you will handle in the past or in the future, and it will eliminate 90% of the communication issues.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, if you don't mind, could you take an example on these two questions in previous slide?
Sorry?
Related to your hello.
Yeah. Tell me.
Sir, if you don't mind, could you take an example of previous slide of the two questions related to your future and your past?
So can
Just
we
an
do
example.
one thing? So can we do one thing? You hold on to your question, and maybe after I will handle all the questions at the end of the session.
Okay, sir. Sure.
I will do that, but let's first finish this session, and then whatever questions you have, I will give you a sample example.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. So the secret to now coming to how to interview the interviewer, which means you should also be ready in terms of the questions you need to ask from the interviewer. You should be very, very ready. And you have to ask the questions in a very diligent manner. So when I say diligent manner, there are actually 4 categories of questions. The first one is company related question. So you need to ask any company related questions from somebody who's senior or maybe a super boss. Somebody senior who's taking an interview, asking about the company related question. The second is role related question. Ask a role related question mostly from HR or in some cases with your boss. Anything which you have to do with the role, ask it from the HR or in few cases with your boss. The third kind of question is a manager or a boss related question. You need to ask such questions from your manager or boss under whom you will be working. And the last one is interviewer related questions, which means anyone apart from your boss, super boss or HR. Anyone else, somebody from another department, somebody from another project, your own peer, anybody who is not your boss and HR and is taking your interview, that kind of questions will be related to the interviewer. Now let's come one by one. The first one is company related questions. So company related questions are as follows, which you need to ask from your somebody who's senior or somebody who's your super boss. You have to ask such kind of questions. Something like, can you provide insight into the overall company structure? How would you describe the company culture and workplace? Based on the company's position in the market, what do you see ahead for the company in the next few years? Can you provide more details regarding the company's products and services? Are there plans for any new product or services? Can you describe the company's overall management style? What are some of the biggest challenges success facing the department currently? So these are very high level questions, and you need to ask certain types of high level questions from the super boss or a senior guy to show that you can think in a very strategic manner and you are bothered about the overall level as well, a macro level as well, not just about your own role. Then comes the role related questions, which you have to mostly ask from HR or in some cases with your boss. So these questions can be something like this. Why is the position open? It is a newly created position or it is a replacement of a vacancy? Why did the previous employee leave? Can you provide more detail on the primary and secondary responsibilities and any other pertinent information you think would be helpful so that I have an accurate view of the job? Anything related to job or role you need to ask from the HR. How does upper management view the role and importance of this unit? What are the characteristics of the most successful individuals within the company and this particular team? What are, you're trying to ask that whosoever are the most successful people, what are the characteristics of those people? What kind of, virtues they have in them which are making them more successful? What type of skills do you not have in the team that you would like to refill? So you need to also find out what kind of skills they don't have for which they are looking for a new hire, what kind of skills they are looking for. Can you highlight the possibilities for growth beyond this position? Before taking a job position, you must ask questions related to what are the growth possibilities in that particular company. You should ask from the HR right up there that apart beyond this particular current role, what would be the growth possibilities for me? Now comes the boss related questions. You can ask questions like, what is your management style? You can ask, can you describe the characteristics and qualities of your most successful performer? You can ask, if somebody who is new to the system, you can ask what drew you to the organization. You can also ask somebody who is old in the system as what has kept you here. And you can definitely ask, what is your vision for your department over the next 2 to 3 years? You can also ask, what would you consider to be exceptional performance from someone performing this position in the first 90 days? If you ask this question from the boss, you will also get clarity that if you join this company, what kind of expectations would be from you for the initial 3 months time. So these are very intelligent questions which will help you make your mind and give you more clarity about the company and the role. What major challenges you are currently facing as a manager, so that within the interview you can say that this is how you will be able to solve some of the challenges of the boss. So you should ask the boss right up front what kind of challenges he's facing as a manager. The next one is interviewer. I'm again clarifying, interviewer is somebody who's not from HR, who's not your boss, who's not your super boss, anybody who's from some other department, anybody who might be a junior, who might be at your same level and is interviewing you is an interviewer. You can ask questions like, if you were to offer me a job and I was to accept, what would be the first act I could do to make your life easier? So the first question you need to ask is what you can do to make his life easier. Suppose you are in sales and this guy is in operations. You need to ask him how I can make your life easier. And that way it will also give a comfort to him that this guy is also bothered about how he can make my life easier. He has that kind of thought process, and he will have an automatic inclination towards you. You can also ask, what do you love most about working here, in terms of what he loves to work in that particular company, and what do you least love about working here, which means what is the thing which he doesn't like about working in this company. Why did you choose this company? You can ask that question as well from the interviewer. And what are the top 5 things you would improve about the organization? Such questions you can ask from the interviewer. The last one is how to leave a long-lasting impact. Remember guys, in the first slide we talked about that memory is a very big problem about the interviewer. He might forget what you said, he might forget your key strengths. So what special you can do from other people to leave a long-lasting impact? And the answer to that is thank them. That is the best thing to do to leave a long-lasting impact. Thanking the employers separates the candidate when it is a close call. If there are 2 extremely important components to thanking, remember that. First one, be speedy. Your thanks should come within 24 hours of you giving an interview. So if today I have given an interview at 12 o'clock, the maximum time I should thank is by next day 12 o'clock. But remember guys, that doesn't matter, that doesn't mean, I mean to say that once you have given an interview, you immediately come out in the parking lot and giving a thank you note. No, it should not be that quick as well. Otherwise it looks very silly. So it should be after an hour or 2 hours after you have given an interview. And remember guys, it should be thoughtful. Your effort shows you care, and don't consider this as a formality. Remember, when you're thanking an employer, you get to realize 3 benefits when you're thanking them, and you need to include each one of them. The first one is obviously open with thanking them. The second one is sell yourself. Don't forget to sell even while you are thanking them. And the last one is show interest. Show enthusiasm for the position, that you are really excited about this opening. Now I'm also going to share with you one sample thank you note which I use after I give my interview, and it starts something like this. Hi XYZ, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. I appreciated the chance to learn more about you and the company. Based on the key points we discussed today, I feel I would be a fantastic match for the job, because now here you have to insert details, in terms of what you think are your core values and why you think you are the best fit. And just be sure it should not be more than 2 to 3 lines. And then in the next paragraph, lastly, I want to reconfirm my interest in this position. After speaking with you, I was more excited about the opportunity because you verified the company supports my interest related to. Now you can mention what are the interests you are interested in and what are the ones which your manager has clarified. So this kind of thank you note really creates a highly impactful image of yours. And even though, like I mentioned, after 24 hours, next day, most of the times the managers give your feedback to the HR or to the super boss. And if there is a thank you note comes up, it gives a kind of a top up, to you as a candidate, and it creates a positive mindset for you. Remember, the thank you note should be most preferred on mail. You can ask the email ID from the recruiter or from the HR or even from the consultant. In case you are not able to get that email ID, you should give a thank on LinkedIn. That is a second option. I suggest refrain it doing from on message or WhatsApp. Mail and LinkedIn are the two ways where you can thank your interviewer. So these are the some secrets which I thought to share with you. Beyond this, I have a very comprehensive course as well, a small package course which is around the art of cracking an interview. And believe me guys, there's a famous quote I'm just repeating here, which is insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So what I'm trying to bring here is how you can do things differently, how you can crack, you might be facing a lot of troubles, you might be having some dream companies where you want to work, but you are not able to crack them. You might be doing hell lot of things, you might be working a lot on your resume, a lot in your personality, but still not able to do it. Maybe this is a time to change the way you think so that you can do it differently. So what I have done is I have made a very comprehensive course, a complete course on art of cracking an interview. Today I have just shared 3 secrets out of that particular course, but I have a very comprehensive course on art of cracking an interview, where what I will do is I will be covering everything. I will be covering about everything about art of cracking an interview, breaking myths around interview, leaving lasting impression on the interviewer, what kind of questions you should ask the interviewer. I will also give online support in terms of whatever questions you have, whatever interview you are going, you have some questions, some doubts, we can take that. I do weekly Q&A call as well so that I can answer all your questions. And I will be sharing, just like I shared the sample thank you note, I will be sharing multiple templates and sample answers with you, and a list of 75 questions which you can ask from the employer. That is what I have it in my package. And this has a value along with the online support of around 10,000 rupees, which brings us a value when we do a course related to art of cracking an interview. But along with that, what I will also be doing, I will be also taking your mock one-on-one interview, so that I can help you wherever you are missing, wherever you are lacking. I can tell you exactly this is where you are missing, this is what you should improve on, this is the wrong thing which is keeping you behind in terms of cracking an interview, which has additional value of around 5,000 rupees when you talk about mock one-on-one interview. Now, this course which I will be providing will have a lifetime access. So you can access this course for a lifetime. There is no expiry for this particular course. Now, along with that, there is a community which I have formed, a private LinkedIn group where you will also be a part of it, where you can ask me anything related to any job, any query related to job hunting, any query related to cracking an interview, any query related to making a resume, everything. Ask me anything, anytime in that particular group. And then there are like-minded people who are also part of that particular group, who are helping each other as well, building a community. That's an additional value, I would say, of around 5,000 rupees. Now, there is a bonus which I give to people who have joined today's webinar, which is a workshop on rocking your LinkedIn profile. Guys, like I shared, I have worked in LinkedIn for 3.5 years, and what I have learned is the best ways in terms of creating your professional brand, the best ways in terms of creating your impactful LinkedIn profile, so that more and more people are connected to you, more and more employers are able to search you, more and more people you are able to connect with who are working with your future companies. So I will be doing a deep dive workshop on your LinkedIn profile as well, which has an additional value of around 10,000 rupees. So the total value for such particular package is approximately 35,000, and that's what I have analyzed with the competition and what you do when you take a LinkedIn profile seminar. But what I'm offering is the entire thing at around 3,500 rupees. So the entire package is of 3,000 rupees. So this particular package which I mentioned will be at 3,500, where I will be covering everything which I mentioned. So in case you guys are interested in doing that particular course, do drop me a mail and I can share with you the link where you can do this complete course, where I also cover LinkedIn profile. I also share you with the course content and templates. I take a mock one-on-one interview, and then there is a private LinkedIn group membership along with everything about cracking interview. And the course value is around 3,500 rupees. So guys, you have two choices now. What I feel, and the first one is do nothing and not take this leap of faith, which obviously is 100% risk free. You can trust me on that one, that I can definitely help you with multiple things. And the second option is you invest in yourself with this small investment today, and you can definitely change the way you are giving interviews in the market. One more thing I want to highlight here, you do this course, and in case you feel that there is no additional value you're getting, I will give you 100% money back kind of a thing. It's the same day thing, money back guarantee, so that in case you are not able to build that trust, I'm more than happy to refund everything which I've taken. So again, now I'm open for questions in terms of whatever questions you have. You mentioned certain questions in the beginning. Whatever questions you have, I'm more than happy to answer them. And anybody who's interested in taking this course, do drop me a mail at coach@pushpeshsingh.com, and we can take it from there. So guys, it is open for questions. Do let me know whatever questions you have. I was getting one question in the beginning. Can I get that question once again, please?
Yes, sir. Ashok is this, right?
Yeah.
Actually, sir, my question was that you have mentioned in first why you get a job, that there was two questions.
Right.
How we should explain about past and future. How did in past and how what we want to do in future. So just I want to
This
take
one, right?
an example with him.
This
Yes,
one,
sir.
right?
Yeah. Why did you do and what would you do? So for that one, I want to take an example with your past and your future, sir. Or not your, just I want to take an example.
Okay, got it. So I give you one example. Suppose suppose there's a question that what would you do if you have to, and I'm telling you this from my own personal experience, what would you do if you have to create a kind of a go-to-market approach for a company which is a startup? How you can develop a go-to-market approach for a company which is a startup? So what I answer is, for example, this is a future-related question, right? That how you will do if there is a pitch to a startup, how to go to the market and go and pitch to the startup. Then I will tell the company that, in the future, because the startups are growing very fast and there is a complete business plan which is coming up. So what I will do, I will make a futuristic business plan for that particular startup. I will cover the market intelligence. I will mention all those things which are required to enter in the Indian market in terms of licensing and everything. And these are some of the things which I will be doing in case I have to pitch to a startup in terms of setting up a business. I will also like to share one thing, sir, which I have done in the past while I was with Yahoo, for example, where I have pitched to the government of India, Startup India, with a similar kind of approach. So in that time, the way I have done that particular thing was going to that particular government and presenting them the ideas related to different startups in terms of how they do business, how they set up, how they do market research, how to do XYZ thing. So idea about this question is this, this was a simple example. एक question आपसे पूछा गया है which is about the future, how you will handle, how you will pitch to the startups in the future. In my current company, you mentioned them, that is a strategy I will do it in startup of pitching the startup in future. But you also mentioned you have done something like this in the past as well, similar to that. It can be anything. It can be, let's take another example. If somebody says, tell me a situation how you will show leadership skills in the company. So then you take a situation that, if in my company I have a project which is coming up, I would prefer that, I come up with ideas and share it with the team. I will be the one who will be doing the sense making in terms of market awareness. I will be the one who will be visioning it for 5 years time. So this is how I will be kind of, showing my leadership skills in the future. But I also want to share with you how I have shown leadership skills in the past. In my past company, what I was, doing is I was managing 3 to 4 people, and we were a team, and we have overachieved our numbers by more than 100% to 120%. We acquired more than 120 clients, and this is how I have shown leadership skills in the past. So it's answering in this manner where you are covering both the things, that how you have done in past and how you will do in future will always be helpful. Does it answer your question?
Yes, I have got an answer. And sir, related to this, what would you do? Actually, some days before, I had given an interview. Right. And actually, sir, I am in sales, but the position and the vacancy was for business development manager.
Sure.
So actually, sir, they were asking that how you will find a new client, and so product was also different. My product is different, but the vacancy was for different product. And right. They were asking this question. So, sir, I just want to answer with you how I will give the answer of this question.
So
if product will different. Yeah.
Two things. You have to tell to the interviewer that ultimately we sell solution. Ultimately, we sell something which is a solution to a problem. So you tell that I am somebody who's a problem solver. I am somebody who is able to solve problems. So the answer is, in my previous company, I was selling this solution, which was catering to this problem. I was selling XYZ product, which was helping the clients solve this problem. In your company, the product is different because it is solving a different kind of problem. My idea, my core strength is I'm able to sell my ideas in terms of whatever solution you provide. So the core theme, the basics of sales remains the same, even though the products change. So you need to tell that, even though the products change, the only thing changes is the solution. My go-to market approach, my way of making and building relationships, my way and, methods in terms of how I am able to pitch and present, everything remains the same. It's just the problem statement and the solution which will be going in the market will change. That is the only thing which will change if I work with you guys. So that's the way you need to handle it. You need to tell them that the basic ground of sales remains the same. The core strength remains the same. You still remain the problem solver. Difference is you will now have to understand a different pain set of the client and give a solution differently with the current product. Am I clear on this one?
Yes, sir, it is clear. And sir, for a new client, they have also asked how you will find new clients.
How you will find new clients, basically, right? So there are various methods. To be very honest, I don't know what kind of business you are talking about, but when it comes to new clients, there are a lot of methods. You can find new clients on LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn is a perfect method of finding new clients. There is a tool called a Sales Navigator on LinkedIn, where you can find out new leads, So for example, just to tell you, what was the product?
Currently, I am in centralized air conditioning, and for that company, product was not fastener, sir. Fastener, not hand bolts.
Fasteners. And who were the clients?
Sir, clients Bolhof's company was Bolhof's German company.
What kind of
Yeah.
clients they do have? किसको वो टारगेट करते हैं एज अ क्लाइंट?
अच्छा, ये सर क्लाइंट तो जैसे फास्टनर जिसको जरूरत पड़ती है,
राइट
नट बोल्ट्स की.
Right. So basically, simple thing is, you need to make a list of all those clients or those companies who are into manufacturing, for example, or automobile segment, right? You make a list of all those people. You reach out to people who are in purchase department or people who are responsible for buying such particular thing, and reach out to them on LinkedIn, and that's how you reach out to the new markets. So what you do is you make a list of existing clients, the clients who you already have, and then make a list of all the futuristic clients who can buy your product, people who require fasteners, and then you reach out to the purchase guys through LinkedIn. That is the best way in terms of reaching to new clients, as per me.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Guys, anyone else, any questions related to career, any question related to resume, any question related to interview cracking, any question related to today's presentation? More than happy to answer. It can be anything related to your career which you can ask.
Hello, sir. Again, Ashok is.
Yeah.
Sir, you mentioned a lot of question to ask with the interviewer, but sir, sometimes we hesitate to ask question with interviewer because we think कि इतना ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे तो वो मतलब बोलेंगे कि मैं इंटरव्यू इनका लेने आया हूँ या इन्होंने मेरा इंटरव्यू लेना शुरू कर दिया.
So there are two things. It's a very good question which you have asked. First thing is, just let me reshare my screen 1 second. First thing is, you need to keep in mind what kind of question you are asking from whom. This I clarified, right? Whom to ask company related question, whom to ask role, whom to ask boss related question.
Yes.
Now these multiple questions which I have given to you are just options. You don't have to ask all these 6 questions or 7 questions. From one person, you should not ask more than 2 questions. 2 questions are the maximum. So if you are giving an interview to your boss, the maximum is 2 questions. That's it. But you need to pick which 2 you want to ask. There should not be more than 2 to 3 questions. Maybe a follow-up question as a third question, but you should not. But asking 2 to 3 questions, if you don't ask, it is a negative impact. It shows that you are not interested in the position. It shows you don't have any curiosity to know about the company or the culture about the position. So you must ask question. If you are shying away from asking question, it will work against you. People will not, kind of consider you because they will think you don't have the exact enthusiasm to work with this company. But it should be a balanced one. It should not be a long list of questions. Ask just 2 to 3 questions and that will be enough. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Yes. And sir, last, please give some tips for how we can improve our communication skills.
I have got one question from Rajiv. Rajiv, are you there on the call? 1 second. Rajiv, can you hear me? Okay, I will repeat the question which is asked from Rajiv and Ashok, then I will come to you. Rajiv has asked, is this a must to speak good English in an interview? Now, the answer to it is, it depends what kind of role you are going for. So, for example, if I'm going for a role which is related to, say, finance, related to manufacturing, related to IT, related to programming, I don't think so speaking great English is the criteria. if I'm a good programmer, if I am really good in terms of programming, if I'm really good in terms of IT skills, my job will be done even if I don't know great English. Similarly, if I'm good in finance, I understand finance work, I am very good in finance, there's no need of great English. Even though and in multiple certain departments, if you are in manufacturing sector, you are an engineer and you are in manufacturing sector, no, not required. But yes, if you are in sales, if you are in marketing, if you are in branding, you are in advertising, then especially in India, they give importance to English. But more than English, I think you should have great communication skills, which is beyond English. आपकी communication skills हिंदी में भी अच्छी हो सकती हैं, but कुछ fields हैं like sales and marketing and business development and all, जिसमें English का importance है इंडिया में. So Rajiv, you are from which segment? Can you let me know? What's your career expertise? You are in sales. So Rajiv, if you are in sales, then I think you should start brushing up your English, because in sales, yes, to some extent it does matter. In sales, your dressing sense, your English, your communication both matters. But again, I'm re-emphasizing, it is not just the say English, it is the communication which plays a vital role. So you should know how to communicate your ideas, whether you are able to excite others with your ideas, your thought process or not. And there are certain ways you can improve your English as well. There are certain free courses, there are certain books you should read, which can definitely help you build your English as well. Any other question, guys? Ashok, you were saying something. Maya, 1 second, I have got one more question. Hi Pushpesh, sometimes the question asked by interviewer is not something we have done in the past. Then how do we answer about how we handle such situation? How do we? Okay, that's a great question, Maya. That I'm repeating the question. Maya has asked a question saying sometimes the question asked by interviewer is not something we have done in the past. Then how do we answer about how we will handle such situation in past or future? That's a good one actually. In that situation, you have to find out very quickly something similar you have done. Something similar which you have done, you have to find that out. So suppose if they ask you, like in Ashok's case, it was tell me a situation where you have done business development. Then you have to accept that I have not exactly done business development, but I have done something very similar to that, and that is sales to SMEs or to startups and so on. So you have to mention that I have not done the exact thing, but I have done something which is very, very similar, and you have to find out something which is similar in nature. And maybe sometimes you have to brush it up, you need to cook it up little more so that it looks similar. That is what you need to do. Secondly, if it, and this is how you do it for the past, you tell about an incident which is little similar to what the question was asked in the past. But about future, remember guys, you need to be good at that. Future is just about imagination. Future is just about imagination. Even if you have not done it in the past, you can always say that I have done a similar situation in the past, and in future this is the way I will be handling such situation. So you can always cook any story in future, because future is something which is not based on facts. Future is based on your imagination. Future is based upon what you say to the interviewer. So if you are able to cook a great story about future, you will still be sold. Maya, have I answered your question correctly, or there's anything additional you want to know? Great guys. Anything else guys? Any question related to anything in terms of job search? Cool guys. So what I will be doing is I will be sharing this recording of today's webinar to all of you. Anybody who thinks that he wants to brush up his interview skills, anybody who thinks he wants to brush up his LinkedIn profile, anybody who thinks he wants more guidance day to day in terms of how to crack okay, so Ashok has has asked another question: how we can improve my communication skills. I think there are 2-3 things which I have done, which definitely helps in improving communication skills. First one is every day making some story, writing something about any random topic and speaking to yourself in front of mirror. You need to speak out on multiple things by yourself. Pick up random topics which you are the most uncomfortable of and speak in front of mirror. That really helps. That is one. Second is go to read as many books as possible, because when you have something here in your head, you are able to give a lot more while speaking. So read more and more books. It will help you increase vocabulary. Third is there is a site called as edx.org. I'm repeating, there is a site called as edx.org. You can find multiple programs, courses around communication skills which are free of cost. So you can do those courses free of cost. We can just audit those courses, and that can help you build your English. But from my side, reading books and practicing speaking every day in front of mirror, that really helps. And take more and more challenges. If there is any opportunity where you can get an opportunity to speak, take that opportunity. Even if you fumble, it is better to fumble today but improve. That is the most important thing. Ultimately, unless you get into the water, you will never be able to learn the exact skills. So take multiple opportunities. Guys, whatever you're good at, suppose Ashok, you are good at sales or you want to improve at sales, maybe do a webinar like this on sales. Talk about sales, share with people ideas around sales. Record yourself. I think recording makes you really positive, and it helps you a lot. Record your ideas, 1 minute, 30 second, 1.5 minutes videos in terms of whatever you know about sales, and publish it online, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. And when you do it, slowly, you will start becoming better. So somebody has written that I have already mentioned the website name. 1 second. Guys, can you see my message? Okay, 1 second. I guess now you can see it. edx.org, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So go to this and don't buy the course. There are 2 types of courses in this. One is one are the ones which are go to business and management, and you will find communication skills course. And there is 2 options. One is buy this course with certification. Second is audit the course. So if you go to audit, you can do it free of cost, the entire course, and it can help you build your communication skills as well. So do these courses, record videos. There is a site called as, I'm again repeating, 1 second. Antwalk. 1 sec. There's a site called as Antwalk. You can record this app, mini short videos around professional environment, and upload those videos there and see how people react. So that's the idea. Do it as much as you can without worrying on grammar. I still make grammatical mistakes, which is absolutely fine, without worrying more about vocabulary. Just the one thing which is very important is fluency, which will only come when you will speak more and more. So I would suggest to record yourself, use these platforms, record yourself in front of mirror, and read books. Guys, read books. That's the most important thing. Even if you hate reading books, still read books.